Nation.
Eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji.
That is Buff Nation's favorite emoji.
Yeah, it is. Let's go, by the way.
We've been doing that one for a few months now, it feels like. Just the straight eye emojis.
I said this on Twitter, but I have to expound on it a little bit here. The fact, I've never felt like we were a more legitimate college football program than the fact that our coach's pastor posts vague emojis on Twitter about recruiting.
Yep.
Like, that is some real college football shit right there.
Hey, shout out to Pastor, though, because he's always liking my tweets and retweeting my stuff and everything.
He's in the mix.
He's in the know for sure.
Yeah, like, he's just a member of Buffs Twitter now.
Yes, legitimately.
That is the most Southern football thing ever, and we're doing it here in Boulder, Colorado.
It's amazing, bro. We have another...
You might say, it's good shit.
It is good shit. You're allowed to say that now this time.
I almost tweeted back at him, so he was tweeting at me today. And I almost tweeted back at him, good stuff. Good stuff. And then I was like, no.
You can't tempt fate
the
like
funny
that,
thing
bro.
is, the person who cared about that the least was Pastor Smith. So I feel like he's like, you guys can just talk to me like I'm a normal person.
I know. All right. 7 commitments in 7 days for the Great Wall of Boulder.
Sheesh.
Yesterday, Matthew Bedford, former Indiana all-around offensive lineman. This guy's played all over the place.
Yes.
Left tackle, left guard, right tackle. He literally only hasn't played center. By my count, he started 40 games.
Crazy.
He missed 2022 with an injury.
Also, really quick, got to give a shout out to Jacob Feinberg, who works for CU, who started Great Wall of Boulder.
Did he?
Yeah, he's a student video creative, so he works under our guy John Snelson. He's the one who we were talking to at the premiere the other night.
Yeah.
Yep. So he had it. He started it. It's a funny thing. Really quick side note. He said like the Great Wall of Boulder, like Shador's gonna be busted next year. And people are like, what the hell does that mean? And he was like, well, where I'm from, that's a good thing. Like, it's like a video game is like busted, you know? Like, it's like unfair. People are like, you better change this. Like, it was a whole thing on Twitter. But Great Wall of Boulder goes to Jacob.
I can't keep up with all these new slang terms and stuff, man.
Well, it's all regional, right? Like, different things mean different places.
I've never heard busted in my life used for, like, something good.
Yeah, it's like Mike Vick in Madden was busted, man.
Okay.
So you can understand.
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
But then people were like, you're saying he's going to get injured?
Right. Because he already is kind of like busted at this point. Guy's got a broken back.
Yep. He's bummed. I still don't know if he's being serious. He's like bummed that he can't go snowboarding, Shador.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we for real? Yes, you got Jordan Seaton on ice skates.
Well, remember, he went like snowboarding last year at this time, and everyone was like, oh, no.
But then what? Didn't it come out that wasn't actually him?
I think so, yeah.
Like, this dude was just like ripping, and he's like, this is me. And then he was like, oh, it wasn't actually me. I don't know. Anyways.
Matthew Bedford, listed at 6'6", 305 pounds, has 1 year of eligibility remaining. PFF graded him out as Indiana's best offensive lineman this last season. He allowed 2 sacks and 15 quarterback pressures on the season.
Yep, we'll do that.
That'll do.
We'll take it.
Coach Prime has completely rebuilt this offensive line in 7 days.
And they said it couldn't be done, period.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it couldn't be done over the whole course of the offseason. They said it couldn't be done ever, and he did it in 7 days. And then you've got all these people coming in saying, oh, yeah, well, they came from low-tier programs and blah, 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 blah. Like, you get 2 starters out of the Big 10.
Mm-hmm.
You get a starter out of the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
You added a tight end out of the Big 12, who's going to help with blocking for sure. And then a couple starters from G5. But, like, all of these players were starters.
Yeah.
And I said the whole season they're going to get starters from Power 5 teams to come play here. Well, so far, if we were to project the offensive line right now, it'd be 3 of 5 are starters from Power 5 teams.
Yep.
Even if you're playing at Indiana, who was not good, look at the numbers. Mm-hmm. You're going up against Ohio State pass rushers, Michigan pass rushers, Iowa pass rushers. I don't know exactly what their schedule was off the top of my head, but you're facing the top talent in the country, and even if your team wasn't good, you were still putting up respectable numbers. It's like I don't have time to respond to all these people. But the one I would point to is Zay Weaver.
Yeah.
Whatever team is talking shit, Zay Weaver would have been the best receiver on your team this year. Mm-hmm. And he came from a 1-11 team the year before. It's not about, especially when it comes to individual transfers, it's not about how good your team was last year. There's probably a reason why they're transferring.
Matthew Bedford was graded. I mean, look, PFF is PFF. We all have opinions on it. He's graded out as the 6th overall offensive lineman in the Big Ten last year.
Yep. My feelings on PFF are just like my feelings on the recruiting websites. I love them when they say what I like.
That's just
and I hate them when they
confirmation
say
bias, Ryan.
Exactly. It is. If you say my guy was bad, you were wrong. If you say he was great, you were right.
I've maintained an anti-PFF stance for years.
At least I'm aware and accepting of my biases.
That is true. But you also embrace them at the same time.
Of course. Exactly. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm not biased.
But CU is now 7 new offensive linemen. They have almost created an entire new 2 deep along the offensive line. We can look at center and go, we don't really know what's going to happen there. Obviously, Tyler Brown could be in the mix for that, or even just a starting guard position. So you add him in, that's 8.
Yep.
And then we'll see what happens if it's Jaquan McRoy who's next, or another offensive lineman, but literally almost 2 deep.
Totally. And there's a chance that you have some post-spring attrition when a guy who comes in, he thinks he's fighting for the offensive line job, and he feels like he's on the outside looking in. Maybe he goes and transfers, especially if this whole second transfer thing gets ruled out.
What a mess, bro.
Which is going to be an absolute mess. I doubt anything happens soon, even though I know they've got the 14-day probation or whatever they call it on it right now.
Such a disaster.
But you might see that. That's okay. Like, even being able to bring these guys all in for spring ball and have them go toe-to-toe, iron sharpens iron, no one's spot is given, everyone's spot is earned, will be better off for this team in the end.
Yep. So, I mean, you brought it up with the eyeball emojis, but sounds like something's coming down the pipeline. Who's next?
Well, I will make my prediction.
Okay.
All of the additions to this point have been about protecting the herd, right?
Uh-huh.
It's been 7 offensive linemen in 7 days. It's all about protecting the herd. You know what else protects a herd?
What's that?
A shepherd. So my prediction...
How long were you cooking that one up for?
I don't know, like an hour? My prediction for the next commitment is Will Shepherd, obviously here last week. And, dude, this guy can play. He can really play.
Yep.
I got into the tape a little bit. My goodness. He has the length. He was winning contested catches. He's making spectacular catches, one-handed, in traffic, diving, all of this stuff. And he's winning against press. He's winning against off. If that is the case and that's the guy, crossing my fingers, that is a huge dub. And it's another one that no one will be able to talk shit about because your team probably offered him.
Absolutely. And you just said about Zay Weaver. He's coming from Vanderbilt, like the worst team in the SEC. But the dude can ball.
Yep. He's a beast. I mean, again, being on Vanderbilt, not good.
Mm-hmm.
Catching passes against Georgia, good.
Yes. Missouri,
Yes.
Florida,
Yes.
like all those schools.
So I hope it's him, and that's my prediction.
I think you're right, but I'll also throw out Ruben Unije, who visited this last weekend. He's obviously been tweeting about potentially joining CU. He's been kind of cryptic with it, but Coach Prime, I don't think is done building this offensive line. Also,
No, I don't think so either. I think you could definitely see more additions there, whether that's from the freshman ranks or from the transfer ranks. And remember, you are going to have a whole nother wave of transfers in the spring.
we're hardly halfway through.
Yeah.
Not even close to halfway through, actually.
No, we've only just begun.
Yes.
We've only just begun. And people are always worried about the transfer or the scholarship numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The scholarship numbers always work if the player that you can get is good enough.
Yes. All right. People are throwing out some other names that I want to talk about here in a second. But first, a shout out to our friends over at...
We got some projections in the comments. Give us your projection or your prediction.
Yeah, let us know who you think is next.
Who is the next commitment. Brady here says, I think all of the eye emojis are for Ty Smith, 4-star A&M commit to flip to CU. I will say this. You had CU's... Oh, gosh, I'm going to forget his name off the top of my head. Blake, last name Blake. Their director of high school relationships or something like that.
At CU?
Yeah. Yeah. He also tweeted out an eye emoji, so it got a lot of people thinking that it was a high school recruit, so it could be a flip.
Well, Chandler tweeted something out too, right?
Yep.
Like all the recruiting stuff.
I know. I love those eye emojis. Want to see as many of those on my timeline as possible.
It means good things are happening.
Yep.
All right, shout out to our friends at Circus Sportsbook and Casino. The adults-only casino in Las Vegas just makes things easier with IDs. It's also just a blast to be at. They've got stadium swim, 4,000-person capacity pool with some of the biggest screens there, and then their sportsbook has one of the massive screens there as well. It's probably my favorite sportsbook I've ever been to.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about this a bit later in the show, but we'll be going back to Vegas for sure because Big 12 Media Day.
Get my fist in there.
The next 2 years in Vegas.
Come on.
Circo, we coming.
We are coming. And I got to say, I like to imagine... Well, do you want to talk about it more later?
We'll get it to it in a bit. Okay, let me finish this. If you're heading out with the Broncos crew for the season finale against the Raiders, going to Avs Knights, the Pac-12 tournament, or Mountain West alum, book your stay with code DNVR20 and you can get 20% off. Also, download the Circus Sportsbook available in Colorado. You can go to circusports.com and download it right now. Circus Sports bets can only be made while physically located in the state of Colorado. Must be 21 or older. All rights reserved. Circus Sports Colorado encourages you to gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org.
Someone brought up Boo Carter. Mm-hmm. That was their projection.
Yeah.
I've never felt worse about Boo Carter coming to see you than I do today.
Did you see what his mom posted on Instagram?
I know, but that's the opposite of this morning. I was just drinking my coffee peacefully, and all of a sudden I'm on Instagram, and I see Jordan Seaton's live on Instagram. So I'm like, oh, great. Let's see what he's up to. I don't know why he subjected himself to this, but it's Jordan Seaton with 3 Tennessee commits, and they're all just roasting him for coming to see you, and Boo Carter is one of them.
And he's roasting Jordan Seaton?
Yes.
Wow.
He's like, they're saying 4-8 and all the snow and all this stuff, and I was like, I got to turn this off. This is crazy.
Wait, Tennessee wasn't good this year, though.
I know, but there's not much you can say when you're 4-8.
I mean, true, but we were 1-11 the year before. It's almost like I don't care. You can tell me 4-8. Every mention on Twitter could be 4-8 for me. I just don't care. It doesn't faze me. Can you tell people about Golf Passport?
I can tell people about Golf Passport. Shout out to Golf Passport. Man, great way to expand your horizons when it comes to golf in Colorado. There are so many good courses here. Mm-hmm. And it's so easy to fall in the trap of just like playing places near your house. But in 2023, you have to plan out your golf outings kind of far in advance. So you might as well explore the rest of the state. There's great deals in there. Like one example is like Pole Creek. It's a little bit up into the mountains, but like if you're having to book 2 weeks in advance, you can get the boys together or the gals. So let's go hit up Pole Creek. 27 holes up there. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if they still do this, but it used to be like you could just pay a set fee and then just like play as much as you want. So there's some great courses out there, and Golf Passport is the best way to go get deals on that. Jake, what is the call to action for Golf Passport?
For everything golf news, stories, travel, and tech, follow Colorado Avid Golfer on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and at www.coloradoavidgolfer.com, and use code DNVR10 to save even more money.
I forgot about our new setup.
It's all good.
But I'm back in now for ad break number 2.
So people were talking about Ty Smith. Go
ahead.
I was saying the reason why we're talking about him, he put out the GIF today of old school Coach Prime when he was prime time, like on the the one on the TV show where he's laughing. Mm-hmm. You just put that GIF out there. Randomly.
We love that.
Been committed to A&M since June 30th. This is a 4-star composite linebacker, 359th overall in the country, 31st overall linebacker, 6'1", 205. His whole timeline's like A&M stuff, and then just randomly today, that's what pops up.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Well, you know, it's not A&M anymore. It's ATM. And the ATM ain't working. It's out of order.
It's broken.
Yes.
Busted, some might say.
So let's go. Poach the whole class.
They have lost so many players.
They can't feel good right now.
How could you?
Also, like, they ended up going for Elko, right?
Who's that again? Oh, the coach.
Yes.
Yeah, the Duke coach. Yep.
That can't excite you.
No.
I think the dude can coach football for sure. But you go from Jimbo to Mike Elko, and like, I know they were over Jimbo down there, but that can't like inspire a ton of confidence. And then everything's falling apart at the seams. I don't know. It can't be fun.
I'm trying to find how much they've lost to the portal, but 247 doesn't have it for me.
And for what it's worth, Jordan Seaton was standing his ground on being a Buff.
Of course.
I don't think there's anything to worry about there.
No, that's not in question, I don't think.
Well, I think some people are questioning it after I just told that story. But
I mean, the guy seems pretty locked in to me.
Other people are saying smoke and mirrors, that is Boo's just setting up his flip.
He could be.
That would be an even better bait and switch than what Jordan Seaton did. So I hope so.
All right. We have our first visitor of the weekend. That is former Florida defensive lineman Chris McClellan. I think we've talked about him before.
Okay.
At least when he was offered. 6'3", 320. That works.
Yes, please.
Appeared in all 12 games with 1 start last season. Had 23 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, half a sack. He played in all 13 games in 2022. He was a 4-star 2022 recruit, 113th overall player, 16th overall defensive lineman. He's from Oklahoma.
What were his numbers this year?
They were 23 tackles, 7 solo, 1 TFL, half a sack, 1 quarterback hurry.
Nice. Not bad.
No, we'll take it. But 6'3", 320.
Also, don't forget about Cordell Russell.
Yes,
He's visiting
yes.
this week.
First defensive visitor is
There you
what
go.
I meant to say.
There you go.
Coach Prime has been, well, he put out the tweet that it's going to be defensive heavy this
Got
weekend.
some Sapps coming in.
Yep. This is one of them.
Yep. This is defense week. So maybe I was off in my prediction. Why do I keep messing up prediction and projection? I guess they're similar enough that it works. Because Coach Prime was honest. He did say a few more offensive dogs.
Yep.
But it's kind of fun, like theme week. Like, welcome to defense week.
Yeah.
Time to load up on dogs on the defensive line.
Who else can say that in college football? We just had our offensive recruiting weekend. Got 7 offensive linemen. Got another player coming today. Who knows who it is?
It's crazy, man. Coach Prime was out here just calling his shots.
It's wild. That's the power he has.
Yes.
All right. We did this last week. While we wait to find out who exactly is coming in, let's just go through some of the top portal guys because there have been some more entries and see who could potentially find their way to Boulder. We start once again, Ryan, with the number 1 overall transfer in the country, Walter Nolan. I think CU has been in contact. Haas Fawcett posted one of those like graphics with all the teams that have reached out. CU is on there, but that's about it. We haven't really heard any legitimate buzz. Should we get our hopes up at all?
I don't think so. It's no secret that CU's number 1 priority was offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And so their number 1 priority became Jordan Seaton.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, they filled in some great gaps behind him. Tyler Johnson is another huge acquisition. But what I'm saying, I guess, is if CU's number 1 priority had been defensive line, I think then you could have said, yeah, they have a chance here. But they really put a lot of focus on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I just don't think you're going to be able to get the number 1 defensive lineman in the portal. Is he a 4-star transfer or a 5-star?
No, 5-star.
He's a 5-star transfer.
.9900.
So 1 last year, 1 this year in terms of 5-star transfers. Last year, of course, Travis Hunter.
Yep. Next guy. How do you feel about corner? Because there's two of them in the portal right now that are high profile guys.
I would like to add a corner.
Okay. So we've got Nyland Green, who was a 247 5-star. He was a 247 Sports Composite 4-star in the 2021 class. Last year, he's from Georgia. Last year for the Bulldogs, played in, or this year, I guess, played in 13 games, 7 tackles, 1 pass defense. Seems like he didn't play too much. And then the other one of Dre's favorite guys in the portal, that's Andrew Makuba, who played cornerback for Clemson, was a starter on that defense. We were talking about him like potentially coming out and being like a top 50 first-round pick type of guy this year.
Wow.
He went back in the portal. This year, he had played in 10 games, had 42 total tackles, 2 TFLs, 6 passes defensed, and 1 fumble recovery.
Okay.
So those are 2 of the top secondary players in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, look, every one of the DBs, the corners that the Buffs have, all had their moments. Amarian Cooper was lockdown for the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Carter Stoutmeyer was showing out to have a fantastic early freshman season. And, of course, we saw flashes from Cormani when he was out there. Heck, we even saw flashes in practice from Israel Solomon and Namir Robinson.
Yep.
But in the end, no one locked it down. And, you know, clearly that was because, I think, in my opinion, that the coaching staff didn't feel like they were doing quite enough. And so because of that, if you were able to get a lockdown corner that you feel really, really comfortable with coming into play across from Travis Hunter next year, I think you'd feel great about it.
Let's go back to the defensive line here. Another former A&M top recruit. This is LT Overton. This was a 2022 247 Sports Composite and 247 Sports 5-star. He's out of Georgia, listed at 6'4". This is when he committed, listed at 6'4", 265. Played defensive line. I don't know if he played too much this year, but he's the number 2 defensive lineman in the portal behind Walter Nolan. We still have Joey Slackman in the portal.
Yeah, I thought he committed to Illinois.
Nope.
And then it just like nothing ever came of that. But remember that?
I didn't see that.
Oh, there was a post from like someone who I think covers Illinois, who was like, Brett Bielema found his guy in the portal and spent the last 48 hours courting him with everything he had, and he got his guy.
Wow.
And then like nothing else happened after that.
No, his 247 timeline just has offers since he's entered the portal.
Yeah, no, I remember looking the next day and being like, why is he still in the portal? And then I went and looked at his profile. I was like, he didn't commit.
Someone messed up then.
Yeah.
But he's still available. The 6'4", 300-pound defensive lineman out of Yale. He is currently the 3rd overall defensive lineman in the portal.
Oh, it was Clay Patterson.
Oh, is that who it was?
The line? Okay, that's my bad. It's white defensive lineman.
Both from
the
Ivy
League.
schools.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the edge. If you didn't see, we'll talk about it a bit more, but Derek McClendon declared for the draft as well. That's now CU's 3rd pass rusher that's gone to the draft.
Yeah.
They need pass rushers.
They certainly need pass rush. I was going to say, like, there's all this debate on whether he should have done that or not. For me, I say thank you for being a Buff.
Mm-hmm.
Best of luck. And let's get to work on replacing these guys.
Yep. So the first guy we're going to talk about here, another Georgia kid, Marvin Jones Jr., not the wide receiver who plays for, who does he play for now?
Bengals in my head.
Oh, I remember him being a Lion.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else then.
I can't remember where he is now.
Okay.
Anyways, this is a different Marvin Jones Jr. Plays edge, 2022 recruit, 247 Sports Composite and 247 Sports 5-star. Was listed at 6'4", 245. This last year at Georgia, played in 12 games, 12 tackles, 4.5 TFLs, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. He is in the portal. And also, Kyle Kennard. This is, Georgia Tech, so same area basically. I think this is an older player, though. Yeah, he was a 2020 recruit. Played a lot of football. Last year for the Yellow Jackets, 12 games. Listen to this. 54 tackles, 11 TFLs, 6 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 forced fumbles. That's a
Sheesh.
player.
That is production.
Yeah. Listed at 6'5", 235 as well.
So much production, he could work for Alyssa.
Yes, exactly. So those are the 2 edge rushers I picked out. 2 top available edge rushers according to 247 Sports transfer ratings. I don't know. I think there's going to be a few offensive guys that still come out this weekend.
Yeah.
So I threw a few guys in here. Another guy that we've talked about quite a bit, Chase Basantis, the former Texas A&M lineman, was a 4-star just last year in the 2023 class. He's still available in the portal. We got 1 tight end last weekend in Shimon Mateer, but the top 3 247 Sports transfer tight ends are still available.
Okay.
Holden Stays, that's the Notre Dame tight end. Justin Jolly, who we've talked about, he's been offered by CU actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jake Johnson, who's a tight end out of A&M.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I'm excited to see once the faucet starts leaking and we start getting some news on who's coming out this weekend.
The portal is deep.
The portal is incredibly deep. And again, people just are using these old phrases and shit that they used to say about the portal that they think just apply in 2023 that they just don't. Like,
No.
oh, you can't do this in the portal. You can't find that in the portal. You aren't going to get this. It's like, no, everything is in the portal. You want a superstar wide receiver? There.
Mm-hmm.
You want a flashy running back? There. You want a new offensive line? It's there. Although it might be gone now. It's in Boulder.
I mean, yeah, there's probably only a few teams a year who'd actually build a line out of the portal.
You want a starting quarterback?
Yes.
It's there. Like, you can do everything in the portal.
It's insane. And I don't know, it's kind of like on this exponential curve where it just kind of gets better because more and more players just keep entering every year.
Yes.
Like, it was met with a lot of, I don't know, I guess doubt about going into the portal and what you can actually do. And then just over the last 3, 4, 5 years, it just keeps growing and growing more. Like, it's not as much later or guys who are later into their career. Look at all these 23 guys who have been entering recently.
Yep. And that's one of those things that people just don't look at. Another thing, they're just used to portal guys being older players.
Yes.
You go get a Terrell Timmons, and go look at where he slots into the scholarship chart, and then you're going to go, oh, they got a high upside player who's really fast, who fits in perfectly with the way their classes stack out. Like, that makes perfect sense. So again, what happens in the media is people get these old ideas. You hear something, right? Mm-hmm. You heard, I don't know, some college football guy on ESPN. I can't think of any right now for some reason. Talk about this like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you just got it in your head. Oh, you can't get a line in the portal.
Yep.
So then you just repeat that shit until it eventually becomes so wrong that you have to change it. Mm-hmm. But that's just there's so much parroting that goes on in the media of just hearing something and then repeating it. And the transfer portal has completely changed. I mean, even from last year to this year, the depth that exists in the portal is insane.
Yeah.
Like, good team. What's ending up happening is just everything's filtering up to the top and the cream is rising. And you can have your takes about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But what else is happening, Jake? And this is happening even to CU players. Is schools are tampering like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and so you're getting even more in the portal, and it's not even really the portal anymore. Mm-hmm. Basically, everyone's in the portal because schools are just hitting up. There's a starter on, or a high caliber contributor on the Buffs who got hit up and offered an insane amount of money to transfer. And if it's happening here, it's happening everywhere.
Yep.
Caden Green, we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully he's Buff. But the original kind of theory coming out of Soonerville is that Missouri just showed up and said, we're going to give you this much money if you transfer.
Yep.
And so, like, all college football is the Wild West right now. And it's insane. And I do believe eventually there's going to be someone who steps in and says, there's way too many millions of dollars exchanging hands between 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds right now. Like, we're going to have to stop this. But it's crazy.
I mean, let's put things in perspective here a little bit before we move on. The portal opened on December 4th. It is the 13th. It's only been like 10 days. We're not even halfway through this portal window, and this is how deep the portal has gotten. And then we have a whole spring portal where kids are going to go again through spring football, realize, oh shit, I'm not going to play here. I need to leave. And there's just going to be another wave.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Here's the other thing that's going to happen. Jake, we are not far from a world where players, especially at positions that the NFL values low, are making more money in college than they will make when they go to the NFL. Like
sure.
Like inside linebackers and running backs, which are more impactful, in my opinion, to NFL team or to college teams than they are to NFL teams. You're going to start seeing like a star Heisman caliber running back get paid like $3 million to go somewhere. And it's like, you go look at what free agent running backs are getting paid right now. They're not getting paid that much.
Dude, Blake Corum last year for Michigan, like he had the injury and stuff. He got a bag to come back to Michigan. Even with the injury, he would have gone like top 2 rounds in the NFL draft last year.
Yeah. So prepare for that because it's going to add a whole nother wrinkle to things. You're already kind of seeing it with women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Caitlin Clark is probably making a ton of money right now.
Yeah.
And there's no incentive for her to leave quite yet. And the thing is, like, especially for like Caitlin Clark, not to get into that whole conversation, but she should be just as marketable as a WNBA player as she is at Iowa. So she should be able to keep those big deals and
if not more. There's probably more people watching college women's basketball than the WNBA.
Well, I'm saying the other way around though. She should be just as marketable when she goes to the WNBA as she is in college. She's still an insane hooper.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that turns around. But it's going to get to the point where like positions that the NFL says that's not as valuable of a position, those guys are going to get paid to stay in college, and they're going to do it.
Yep. There is a spring portal. It's only 15 days. Okay, so this is from Justin Williams. He's a staff writer for The Athletic. He tweeted this out this morning. Breaking. In Ohio versus NCAA, Judge John Preston Bailey issues a temporary restraining order only for the next 14 days that grants immediate eligibility to any college athletes currently seeking it via a multi-transfer waiver. There's another hearing scheduled for the 27th of December. That's that 14-day window. He has another tweet. This essentially means for the next 14 days, NCAA can't require any multi-time transfers to sit out while seeking a waiver for immediate eligibility.
So weird.
It's like, whose line is it anyway? We just make up the rules as we go and nothing matters. That's pretty much what's going on right now in college football.
Yeah. It's crazy. I had never heard the term restraining order used in this context until the Jim Harbaugh situation. Yep. I was like, what is this new thing where like you get restraining order applies to a rule?
This is how fucked up the NCAA is that you can just like sue them, take them to court, scare the hell out of them, and just literally change rules.
This is crazy.
It's crazy.
And so then, are these players going to play in bowl games?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what this means. I don't know if it means that if you need a waiver to be eligible for next year, that you have this 14-day window to just get that waiver, or if it means what you were saying, where like if CU was in a bowl game, Tyler Brown would be eligible to play.
I think that's what it means.
It's crazy though.
It's so crazy.
Makes no sense.
So dumb. The whole, I don't know. The whole thing is just like, it's convoluted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't just tell everyone they can transfer unlimited, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that in a question form. It's like, I guess you could, but this thing is already kind of losing its structural integrity. And when I say this thing, I mean the NCAA.
Yes.
Because everyone's bouncing around like crazy. At the same time, maybe you could allow people to transfer unlimited, but like, if if that happens, teams are going to be flipping their whole roster every offseason.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, it's like, well, people like Tyler Brown absolutely should have been eligible to play this year. So like maybe they just need to have a better committee that goes through these things and determines whether or not guys are immediately eligible. It's just wild. And Tyler Brown's another one who's like essentially you might as well say they've added 8 offensive linemen this offseason. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're adding
Literally.
Tyler Brown to the mix.
Yep. Shout out to our good friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. They're Denver's best roofers, and they have joined the DNVR team. They're also DNVR fans, so support them. They do their work with quality materials. They have decades of experience. They got a quick response time. You can hit them up now for a free no-obligation roof and property inspection. It also comes with a free in-depth photo report for all inspections. Winter is basically here, man. So get on it if you need a new roof, and hit up our friends at Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com and tell them DNVR sent you.
By the way, it was Jordan Blake who I was talking about who tweeted about it. Director of High School Relations for CU Buffs football.
And then Shady Rays.
Shout out Shady Rays. Stay fresh with the Shady Rays. Keep the sun out of your eyes and get great deals. Shady Rays is crazy because not only do you use the code DNVR and get 50% off 2 pairs of sunglasses, but at the same time, if you get yours lost, stolen, or broken, they'll just replace them for you.
Yeah.
So it's
they're
like
amazing.
You just get don't even. My original reaction was like, oh, I just get 2 of my favorite style because I'm gonna lose them or break them eventually.
Yep.
No, don't do that. Get 2 different ones. One that's more, in your lane. One that's a little crazy.
Yeah, experiment a little.
And get into that Shady Rays cycle because you'll be in there for life and they'll keep taking care of you. So go check out our friends at Shady Rays. Use the code DNVR for 50% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses.
All right. We've been talking about the defensive line coach quite a bit recently because
yes.
we don't really know if Coach Sal is going to come back or not. He was rumored to maybe go to Charlotte, but Coach Prime put out a tweet today and kind of set some things straight. He quote tweeted someone who was basically asking him to go get Coach Early from Houston.
Yep.
A lot of people have been on that train. So
Coach Early's actually a free agent right now.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I thought he was still at Houston. I didn't know that he was.
They brought in new staff.
Oh,
and
that's
he
right.
was not retained. As far as I'm concerned. I don't know if that's true.
Well, they did hire Willie Fritz, right? Tulane coach?
I think so.
Anyways, Coach Prime quote tweeted this question about Coach Early and said, "We chose Coach Sal in March, my brother, and stopped listening to lies. You know I've kept it 100 since 1989. We good, by the way. Sapp and Sal are straight."
Yes, sir. And also the person was saying, like, I know Early denied you in March or whatever.
Yes.
He's like, no, we chose Coach Sal in March.
Yes.
So there you go. I kind of said it yesterday. I wasn't sure when I said this. I'm not saying I was like, oh, I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
But you said, like, we're not sure on DL. And I was like, Sal's still here, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
When all that stuff came out over a week ago and nothing had happened yet, I thought, okay, well, maybe he's not going to take that Charlotte job. He's going to stay here in Boulder. Coach Prime kind of put his stamp on it today.
Yep.
And it's kind of a perfect setup, right? You have the old, wily coach who's been there, done that with everything. You bring in Warren Sapp, who's Warren fucking Sapp.
Yeah.
And have him learn, the ins and outs of being a coach from Coach Sal.
Exactly. It's a great situation. And I think it puts Coach Sapp or potentially Coach Sapp, Warren Sapp at this point, in a good position to, learn how to coach, like you said, but can just focus on being a recruiter or like focus on helping out the kids, just like what Coach Prime talked about, just in the hot tub, just teaching them like hand moves and stuff like that. Like there's not the pressure of having to teach them a whole defense and all that right away. So
I have a feeling that Coach, and this is not as a replacement because we're always going to have Coach Hart. But I have a feeling that Coach Sapp is going to become a regular on the DNVR pregame show next season.
That would be incredible, bro.
Yes, it would. And he's such a fit for this show.
Yes.
Especially when we had Neely in the mix.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's just cracking jokes. He's hilarious. He would be just a perfect fit. I have a feeling it's going to happen.
Check out the pregame show. Uncle Neely just talked to Sapp.
Yes, he did. Yes. Warren Sapp loves him some Uncle Neely and vice versa.
We already talked about it, but Derek McClendon declares for the draft. That is now the third edge rusher as left CU.
Yep.
We have some young guys, Tajay McCoy, you guys like Savell Smalls, Arden Walker, of course. So, there's some pieces already. Like, I think it was Coach Nick Williams. He said Arden Walker's primed for a big jump next year, basically. I think right before Utah. JD kind of said the same thing as well.
Yep.
So we feel good there.
And Arden was one of the most reliable edge players for the Buffs this year.
Yeah, he played great. Kyrie Mann's played great at times too.
DV.
So, DV, of course. So we have some young pieces, but it's a room that I think is going to see some attention, and we still kind of missing that guy.
Yeah.
That game changer.
Yep. Need just a guy, I mean, like you said yesterday, a sack artist.
Yes.
Someone who other teams are worried on 3rd and 8
Yep.
that he's going to get back there.
A lot of people have asked about CU doing in-home visits. And yesterday, Brandon Davis Swain, the 4-star defensive line commit out of Michigan, posted a photo with Coach Kelly in his living room. Coach Kelly's out there doing the thing.
Yeah, holding the state championship trophy.
I think so. That or like MVP. He's won like an MVP trophy for best defensive player in Michigan.
Let's go.
He's been playing both ways. He's been playing tight end.
His offensive highlights are crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's just so big and strong.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yep.
That's a blue chip commit. And we don't talk about him as much as we used to. I think he committed in like June or something like that. But Brandon Davis Swain is a dog, man. A 4-star 247 Sports composite, 247 Sports 4-star, top 300 player.
Let's go. I'm super excited about him.
Last thing I have today, Big 12 Media Day.
Let's go.
Las Vegas.
So here's what I like to imagine happen, Jake. The Pac-12 brings over 4 teams
Yep.
into the new Big 12. Brett Yormark, is that his name?
Yep.
Has a meeting. He calls those 4 teams in. And he says, what did people like about the Pac-12? And what they said is, well, everyone loved that we had all of our big events in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's something we can adopt easily. So now we're going to Vegas. We might be in the Sphere.
I know. I'm hyped.
Please put us in the Sphere. Although, is there room for us to like set up our own?
That's a good question.
Sign us up for the Sphere. Sign us up for Circa. We're coming back.
I'm trying to find the tweet because there was 2 other locations. Here we go. Host sites being considered in Vegas are the Sphere, Allegiant Stadium, or an MGM property. And an MGM property means about 20 different places. So
almost every hotel down there. Not Circa though.
Nope.
Allegiant would be cool too. I guess they did it. Didn't they do it at Jerry World before?
yeah, they did it on the field at AT&T last year.
Okay, that could work. I honestly don't care. Put it in Vegas and put it in the middle of the desert. I'm in.
I mean, you don't have to tell me twice we're going back to Vegas, bro.
Easiest flight. Good time. I hope they keep it 2 days though.
Not
Because it was a
just
2-day.
Well, that was just a mess last year. The Pac-12 was like, let's pack this shit up and get out of here,
Yeah,
bro,
that's true.
basically.
But at the same time, 2-day media days means 3 days for us in Vegas,
Yes.
which is the perfect amount.
I guess one more thing. This just came through. Colorado's offered former Liberty Flames defensive back Preston Hodge.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
He had 48 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 8 pass defenses last year.
Okay.
So a player. He was a true junior, it seems.
Yeah, it came from JUCO to Liberty.
So there you go.
Let's go. Dude can play.
He can play.
And his position coach, when he entered, his director of player of personnel, when he entered the portal, said certified dog.
All right. Shout out to our friends at Game Time. Wherever you may be in this country, if you're trying to go to any basketball, hockey, or bowl game potentially, hit up Game Time. They are the best at getting you in the door at the last minute. Not just games, though. Concerts, events, whatever's going on in your city, check out Game Time today and take all the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BUFFS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We got like 3 CU basketball home games. We got the CU women's team playing out here, so plenty of opportunities with Game Time.
Also, shout out to our friends at Breck Distillery. I told you guys, smooth, vanilla-y, a little bit of sweet, and that's just their bourbon. But I love their bourbon as a little after-dinner drink. Put it on. I go on ice. What about you? How do you like to drink?
I mean,
your
I'm
bourbon?
not a straight bourbon drinker, but
Okay.
I can drink it straight or on ice. It's whatever.
On ice for me. I like my drinks to be cold. It was freezing this morning. I'm drinking iced coffee. That's just how I roll.
It's weird, bro.
Actually, cold brew, but same thing. Anyways, you can get your Breckenridge bourbon if you go to breckdistillery.org, BreckenridgeDistillery.com to check out all of their spirits. They also have a espresso vodka that people love around here.
It's delicious.
So check them out, BreckenridgeDistillery.com.
All right, Alyssa. What's up, chat? Eric asked, Jake and RK here, Vegas is Colorado at 6 wins in 2024. Disrespectful. It's too early for this shit, bro.
Disrespectful? No.
Can't do it.
Money-making opportunity? Yes.
There you go. I think it's plus money on the over, too.
Let's go. Let's go. Sign me absolutely up. We're going to have payday again. Payday party.
Uh-huh.
I wonder what city we'll be in for the payday party next year.
Caleb Dirks with a super chat. Thank you, man. Says, if I guess Anquin Barnes, Alabama transfer DT, he was heavily recruited by Charles Kelly when he was at Bama. I mean, he could be. I'd imagine he'd come on a visit first and checks it out before he commits, though.
Yeah, that's true. But who knows when the next commitment is?
Yeah, sure. LJ Mula, I think that says.
We're going to do this Amari Ward thing once and for all.
Did Amari Ward get offered or no? Okay. I spoke to someone at CU's recruiting department, straight up asked them, is this legit? They told me no, it was not legit.
Yeah.
So we did not cover it. We have not talked about it. It's obviously an awkward situation of sorts.
It is an awkward situation. Also, I don't know why people are coming to us to clear up the situation when a literal coach on CU staff cleared up the situation. Not to say that you guys shouldn't be coming to us, but like there's not. I feel like everything's pretty clear now.
Right.
It's all out there. And what I don't want to do is pile on
exactly
with Amari Ward because he's been through a lot. So let's talk about this today. He doesn't have an offer from CU. I don't know how all of these places just took that and ran with it when he tweeted that he was coming. Like not just like anyone, like On3 is posting graphics with him in it. So as of now, he's not coming to CU. And let's just leave it at that and know that he's been through a lot and wish him the best.
Exactly. So there you go. AJ says, any words on OC? Nothing yet. We're still staying pat with Pat Shermer, it sounds like, for now.
Nice. Was that on purpose?
That was off the cuff. No, that was just running with it. Caleb with another super chat says, am I delusional to think that Antoine Hill decommitting means we have a legit shot at Bryce Underwood? I think we've always had a pretty legit shot at Bryce Underwood. I mean, the dude straight up came to CU, watched the game, was hanging around Shador the whole time. That seems pretty legit to me.
Anyone that takes a picture on the wall, you have a shot at. But
exactly.
As I've said every time, if you want Bryce Underwood, 5430foundation.org.
There you go. Committing January 6th or 7th, I believe. So a little less than a month away from that one.
All right.
Osmaldonado asked, when does the next episode of Coach Prime drop? Tonight or tomorrow? Yeah. Should be tonight. That's when they came out last week.
Probably up right now. Whenever we think there's a date, it's always up before that.
Watch this one, though. Your boy is in it.
Let's
go. Your boy's in it heavy, too.
We were both in this one.
Yep.
Well, I think, yeah. We were both in. Were you in episode 1?
I was not in episode 1.
Okay.
But I figured I was until I watched episode 1 because I was in episode 2 and 3.
Yep.
But watch this one, man. You get to see what Coach Prime said to Jay Norvell after the CSU game. Just going to leave it there.
Oh, so far. Well, and you get the Jimmy Horn whole story.
It's an amazing episode.
This episode is fire.
I'm trying to pull it up right now, see if it's... Nope, it's not up yet. So check back. D Mills asks, is Dancy linebacker / DN's coach? Yes. Yes, that's official. What's up, Chris? He asks, with Alto, Smoke, and Wilkerson, do we need another portal running back since we will be run heavy next year? I don't know if we'll be run heavy. I think with Shador, you're still going to throw it quite a bit, but
we will definitely not be run heavy.
There's got to be a much greater emphasis on the run.
Yes. But run heavy tells me over 50%.
Yeah.
I would just like if we could get to like 40.
Right. But we've talked about adding a portal running back. I mean, you never know when someone else is going to jump in the portal. And I think that there's a lot to work on with this running game. So if they think bringing a running back in is the best course of action, I'm all for it. I'm not going to fight it.
Of course. Especially if it's ETN.
Mm-hmm. Smoke's gone, by the way, too. And Wilkerson, who knows?
Chris is saying USC's Bear Alexander might hit the portal. Man, that would be crazy.
That would be wild.
What I'll say about this is Bear Alexander got a crazy bag out of the portal last year from USC.
So crazy, he was basically untouchable to any other school.
Yes. That being said, USC fans complained about him all year. I don't know what his final production was, but this is a part of the NIL world that just blows my mind. Because you're having, like, I'm not going to call... They're definitely not average Joes if they're funding the collectives, but you're having, like, normal people. I don't even know if they're normal. You're having people outside of the program. We'll call them pedestrians who are paying money to get players.
Yes.
And then they're like tracking them like stocks.
It's crazy.
It's like, oh, I'm not getting return on my investment here because Bear Alexander doesn't have enough sacks. And then that's how they end up back in the portal. Because people are like, I'm selling my stock.
I think the reason we were asked this doesn't seem like anything too cryptic to me, but Bear Alexander just tweeted less than an hour ago, a person fencing and then deuces twice. But that's also the USC thing is the fight on.
Fencing.
Yeah. I don't know if that's supposed to be a Trojan with a sword or what that is, but I didn't know that emoji even existed before now.
Wow. Okay. You didn't know the peace emoji did?
No, I didn't. I don't think I knew that a person fencing emoji existed.
Oh, that's the emoji. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Larry asked, do you think Smoke was a graduate transfer, guys? He's done. He's out.
He was at the Iron Bowl and he was playing Utah.
He put out a tweet the other day, like looking for coaching opportunities and stuff. Like he's unless he goes to the NFL, he's done playing. He's done playing in college football at least.
All right. Civilians. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you so much.
Smuggle says that's his favorite emoji.
Does it have a meaning that we don't understand yet?
Maybe. Is there an a meaning to the fencing emoji?
Like, I don't know. On guard.
I'm just going to tweet that now. Just tweet a random emoji every day and see what people make of
Whenever the people start tweeting, when we get into vague emoji season, you should just tweet a random one that you've never tweeted before.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Should I do one right now?
Yeah.
Which emoji do we have here?
All right. I'm going to find you an emoji while we find out what the meaning of the fencing emoji is. I'll find you the most.
Jimmy Horn is, I mean, from everything I've heard, staying.
Okay, random emoji. Just the tooth emoji? Just one big tooth?
Okay.
You could go with construction vest, ball of yarn,
Ball of yarn. Huh?
coin purse. That one's kind of leading.
Coin purse.
That's like dropping the bag. Earthworm. Never seen anyone use that one before.
I like earthworm.
Okay. You could do empty nest or full nest. Bubbles.
I need something extremely vague, bro.
Okay. I think the vaguest emoji, I don't even know what these things are called. It's this little thing that they put in like ramen.
Oh, yeah. All right, that's what we're going with.
That's the most random emoji I can think of.
All right. Tweet has been sent.
Let's go. That's a great vague emoji.
I like that emoji. That one right there, like the ghost face one.
That's like with the smoke around it, kind of.
What's your favorite emoji?
Dude, I've been really big on the salute emoji
Yeah, you told
recently. It's salute emoji season for me right now. It's just such a good response when someone says something, you're just like, yep.
One of my probably most used ones ever is like the sweat bead dropping from the guy's head, like with the smile. Use that one a lot. I feel like that describes my life.
Really?
Yes.
Just constantly sweating.
Yes. And then the tough one, the guy with the steam coming out of his nose. I love that one.
Yep.
The salute's in there too, though.
I like the happy tears.
Yes.
It's just like the smile with one tear.
The single tear, yep. The watch is a classic too, yep.
What's that one say?
Which one? This one? Top.
Yeah.
Oh, top, yeah. The slot machine. What is that one?
It's like a sponge.
Did we do the eye emoji before?
I
Yeah.
did the eye emojis on the Jordan Seaton day.
I did it, I think, before Cam Michael when Box did it.
What's crazy is I then threaded us on the show of me saying like, oh, I'm trying to get in the vague emoji game. And Dre be like, tweet out the eye emojis right now. I'm like, okay, I will. And then like people were still just like, you don't know anything. Stop trying to pretend like an insider. It's like, okay, well, you guys clearly don't know how to read a thread.
Do you have a favorite emoji, Alyssa?
I always do the laugh, cry face one.
That is way too...
That's so generic.
Give us something else.
Come on.
We're going to need something other than crying, laughing emoji.
The middle finger. No.
That actually would be on brand for you, I think. All right.
All right, we're going to call it there.
You're already getting DMs about your emoji.
I need to see. I'm trying to tweet out this offer. I haven't been paying attention.
We're literally in a group chat with Jake. Someone sent that emoji in there with the gif of, what do you mean by that?
What emoji is this?
Oh, man.
Oh, this is amazing.
I love the vague emoji game.
We might have to do this once
Weekly,
a week to
yeah.
end the show. Just, all right, what's the emoji today?
Drop the emoji of the day. The emoji of the week.
That's a good one. Also, the trash sign one, too.
That is a good one. I thought that was the Nebraska emoji.
It's pretty close. Don Peasy with the super chat says, like always, great show. And to see my Great Wall of Boulder moniker taken off to the moon.
Taking
Hashtag
credit.
up the SCO. Hashtag SCO.
Taking credit from our guy Jacob.
I guess so.
I thought it was Jacob. All right.
All right. That was fun.
Great show. Love
Yep.
you guys.
We'll be back tomorrow. Go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.